Lowdown. It's all brought to you by Pickdawgz.com. Definitely check out all the premium plays going on over there. Please click the like and subscribe button. The like and subscribe button. That helps us out. And the notification button to let you know anytime one of these gets posted. So there's a lot to go over. I want to start off with the concrete inner circle because, yesterday was another one of those days where I absolutely killed it. And it's weird doing it on the premium side. So I gave out 5 free prop plays. I talked about a few of them on the morning show. I said I had my favorite World Series bet or favorite MLB playoff bet coming into the game. It was the over. So for anybody that was curious there, it was definitely the over. Pissed off about what happened with Bo Bichette early, but obviously, look, they scored runs. I thought there would be home runs hit in this game. Tyler Glasnow had 11 days off, and now you're coming in, and he's a 2-1 favorite, a little bit over that, against Max Scherzer, who, again, he was okay, all things considered, kept him in the game. I still can't believe they let him out in the 4th. I thought they were going to nip that in the bud in the 3rd, but maybe they were just scared of him. I love the over. And then when I started researching everything, you start looking at the numbers, there's so many great underplays when it comes to the strikeouts, just because a lot of these guys aren't going deep into the game. What you saw on Saturday, it's not indicative of what you're going to see in the postseason. Yamamoto going deep. Kevin Gausman threw 82 pitches, and I think he went over 6 innings. And from what I'm hearing, unless something changes with a win tonight or a loss and they feel differently, I have no idea why they're doing it, but the Blue Jays, from what I just read, have Kevin Gausman listed as the Game 5 starter. Maybe it's something to not want to pitch the rookie on the road in an elimination game. I'm listening to you. But it's 3 days rest, 4 days, however you want to look at it, from Saturday to pitching on Wednesday. And I think it's so stupid. I don't have any confirmation. And what I've done here is because it's hard to tell you how I'm feeling with the Blue Jays Dodgers with the game tonight. I am going to talk about this game and the pitching matchup a little bit, the projected pitching matchup, because things can change and I'll check back in the morning. I have 2 college football games, which I'll probably eventually have a play on these, but I don't love anything right now. And I don't want to sit here and tell you to bet these games. I'm going to talk about them, but I don't want to sit here and tell you to bet these games because I don't know if I'm betting them yet or how I feel about them. And I do have a lean on each one, which I'll explain when we get there. So what I decided to do is I'm going to give out another freemium. This is going to be an NFL play on Sunday. It'll be my Sunday shootout. So if you guys are purchasing picks, don't buy that. I'm going to give it to you for free. But if you're checking out anything else, I think I might have my best bet on Thursday Night Football this week. But we shall see. And just speaking of the inner circle, so there yesterday, this is what I had posted. And I like going over this. I'll tell you when I have losing days. Not every day is going to be a winning day. Excuse me. So yesterday, or Monday, sorry. I always do this, and I know you guys are probably tired of me go back and forth. Monday, Tuesday, whatever day it is. I had a 10-star on the Dodgers Blue Jays over. Like I said, it was my favorite play. 5 stars on the Bulls Hawks over. 4 stars on the Unders Mavs. 2-star on the over in the Suns Jazz, and I had the Commanders plus 10.5, and they lost. So, if you're adding it up, that's 19 units that I won yesterday, and with the guidance of some of the guys that are back there doing this stuff and talking about what you should bet, how you should bet, money management. Cassie's been helping out a ton with that, but definitely want you guys to check out the Inner Circle. And if you text Inner Circle that number, you can find out more about it. As I said, it's pricier. I'm a big bettor. I bet games large, depending on what I like. And if I really love something like the World Series last night, I hammer it. And for you guys I know there were a couple people that purchased picks yesterday and got my 3-pack. And they didn't buy the 3-pack for the NBA. I don't know that anybody had it. I did have some people buy for the week, buy for a couple days. So you guys got that play. I went 3-0 in the NBA. All those plays you heard there that I gave out. It's funny because my World Series bet was in with the Commanders and an NHL under. Both NHL games went over. I felt like I deserved a little bit better in that game as, what was it? Was it Calgary or Ottawa? Here, I don't even have my sheet in front of me. This is what's pissing me off is I can just look this up real quick. With that being said, I threw the NHL game in there because I liked it. And I felt like I got just one of those games where one team is up 1-0 and all of a sudden it's bang, bang. They score a couple goals. And before you know it, it just gets out of hand. But yesterday, let me get to it. It was the Bruins and the Senators. Yeah. So, and again, it's hard to complain about having an under when the score's 7-2. But I was looking at it. It was 1-1 at the end of the first, and then bang, bang, Ottawa scored 2, and then they scored 5 goals between the two of them in the third period. So the weird thing is, like I said, I went 5-0 in prop plays and won my World Series. So if you parlayed that together, and none of those were ridiculously priced out. Like Max Scherzer was probably the highest one with under 4.5 Ks. I know some people saw 3.5s out there. It was juiced up to like minus 160, but the rest of them, Vlad minus 110, Freddie Freeman even money. What else did we have? We had, God, now I'm blanking on that too. Had a ton of props that I thought were just gonna be great in baseball. But with that being said, let me pull this up. I'm getting so irritated that I can't even think. I think my brain's fried, man. Here's my plays from yesterday. Okay. We had Vlad Guerrero over bases. It wasn't Vlad Guerrero yesterday. Here we go. Sorry. This is what happens when you start talking and then you're all over the place and then you say something, you're like, oh, let me look it up. And it's like, oh, I'm the only one talking here. Tyler Glasnow, under outs. Freddie Freeman over bases. Blue Jays team total over 3.5. That was plus money. Tyler Glasnow under outs was plus money. And Vlad Guerrero over bases was like my favorite play of the bunch. As I've said, full disclosure, I am riding Vlad Guerrero over 1.5 bases in each one of these games with a 1.343 OPS. My nose is itching. I'm going to win more of those than not with the way he's swinging the bat, and he's just locked in. And yeah, we got fortunate to win that one yesterday. Extra innings helped out with a couple, but I had most of this stuff locked up before that. I mean, the 2 pitchers, boom, won that. Same thing with Blue Jays team total was as soon as Kirk gets that home run, bang, we got that. Tyler Glasnow gets pulled early. Freddie Freeman got a couple of hits late, and he hits the walk-off homer, which obviously that puts you over the bases. In the NFL, I lost the Commanders. I had them plus 10. They didn't even show up in the second half. And I gave out 3 prop plays with that, and I think I went 3-0 there. I had 4 prop plays in total. One of them that I added later lost. I'm trying to remember which one I put in there. Zach Ertz under lost, but I also, Marcus Mariota talked about him throwing a pick. He did it on the first drive. Talked about the game environment and how it should play out, that he would be throwing. We're fortunate the way it worked out because they sucked in the second half, but he got over his, 200 yards passing. And I liked Juju Smith-Schuster over 12.5 yards. It was, depending on which book you were using, it was like 12.5 to 15.5. And then that second catch he got was a longer one. Put him at 20-some yards. So we won that. It was a nice day. But the weird thing for me was 6-0 in the baseball game, but I lose my triple play. So hopefully you guys, you get your credit back there. Hopefully you want some money. But I was telling somebody else, I think like a $50 parlay on that 6-teamer, if you wanted to do it, should have paid out close to $2,000, I believe. Trying to think of, for the people that may have done that. So hopefully it worked out. And I've been throwing in a lot of free props, guys. I do a lot of work on it, and I don't want to sit here and put everything in as far as prop bets and type it all up. And I'd rather I just do it with my everyday gambling and my daily fantasy stuff. So when I see things that I like, I'm obviously going to throw them in there. So I don't normally have 5 prop plays that go along with the game, but that was one that I loved it. So I'm glad it worked out. Hopefully some of you guys hit that and got it. As I said, I swept the NBA, and the cool thing about that was you didn't have to sweat any one of those games. Bulls over, Mavs under, and the Jazz over. I think the Jazz started off the game like 18-2, and then it ends up going to overtime. But yeah, so there was a lot I liked. And as far as today, I was on the Clippers. Love the Miami Heat over. Everybody's going to look at that number and go, 241.5. Go look at what the Heat have been doing. They're running and they're scoring. The additions of Norman Powell and a couple other pieces that they've brought in. Maybe it's getting rid of a few guys. They've been running. And once Tyler Hero gets healthy, I think they're going to be an interesting team. But love that over there. Love the Thunder to just smash in their game. I talked about the Dodgers, Blue Jays. I'm on the under in game 4. And I liked Vlad Guerrero over 1.5 bases. Shohei Ohtani under 6.5 Ks. My model had him at 5. The fact that you just played 18 innings and now you're coming back to pitch, yes, thank you, I'll take it. And it's damn near even money. It essentially is even money at minus 115 because most props start off there. at minus 115, 14, 13, somewhere in that range. I have Shohei under 18.5 outs, so that means he doesn't get past the sixth inning. Shane Bieber under 15.5 outs. And yeah, so those were my 4 prop plays. We talked about JMU and Texas State. I was on the over, like the Blues, Calgary, Toronto to go under. Yeah, all that was what I have for tonight. And then I'm working on some NFL props for Thursday with the Ravens and the Dolphins. So where do we go from here? Lots to talk about with these games. But again, not a lot that I love. Let's start off with the Blue Jays and Dodgers. I know I briefly touched on this, but right now they have Kevin Gausman versus Blake Snell. That would be short rest for Gausman because he pitched in Game 2. Game 2 was on Saturday. That was the Yamamoto shutout. So why on earth, if he pitched on Saturday, are you going to try to pitch him on Wednesday? Trey Savage is on normal rest. Put him out there. The kid's been lights out for you in the postseason, and you're going to play games and put Gausman out there. And I don't know, again, I don't know if this changes regarding a win or a loss for the Blue Jays tonight, but this is what was listed. And with Blake Snell, I mean, I've said this coming into the series, like if I'm the Blue Jays or if I'm a Blue Jays backer, I'm not afraid of Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow. They rely a ton on the strikeout. These guys make contact. When you look at Glasnow, when he's throwing a lot of pitches, he walks guys, and when he gets behind in counts, he pounds the strike zone, which he has great stuff where he's going to get a lot of guys out. But for teams that don't strike out, he's going to hit a lot of bats. And because of how he throws, it's going to be hard contact. So he's so good, though, that like against most teams, he's just going to dominate. And you heard them, if you watched the game last night, the advantage he has of his plant foot because, I mean, he's like 6'12" or whatever. And then when he steps, I think they said his step makes it seem like he's 7'6", if I remember correctly, because he basically launches. And when his release point's lower, so with his release point, it's coming out faster at the hitter there because they have less time to react from, let's say, they kind of showed Max Scherzer, who's more of an over-the-top thrower. I think I look very, but anyway, so this is a spot where if I see it's Gausman, I'm probably going to hammer the Dodgers or the over. I just don't know. I don't know what the total is, but I did want to bring it up. I'm sure I'll be talking about it at some point tomorrow. And then Blue Jays got to steal one here. Maybe it's Tuesday night. I do not like them Wednesday night if this is what they roll out. I think that's just terrible. Let's go to college football, and these are 2 just middling games. So I'll just throw them in real quick and talk about it. Jacksonville State at Middle Tennessee State. Jacksonville State's minus 6.5. 54.5 is the total. I don't love either one of these teams. Last week, I think both of these teams were kind to us. So was Missouri State. We won that game that they played. But 6.5 points at home on like an island game night. And it's not like I'm scared of Jacksonville State. I clearly think they're the better team, but it's more about the spot. And this is why I just don't love the play because, yes, I think they're a better team. Can they win by a touchdown or more? Absolutely. But I think if you're going to ask me for a lean, I would lean towards Middle Tennessee State plus the points at home and think that they keep it under a touchdown. But I don't love it. Maybe I'll love it by tomorrow. I'm going to do more research and dive into this. But again, there was nothing standing out today to kind of push me one way or another. And I don't even like giving plays that I'm not on. And the hard part is too, like there's some NHL lines out. I don't want to give those out. I want to see where the money goes and watch the line movement a little bit before I ultimately make my decision on that. I like doing that with the NBA too, but I can talk about that and make picks earlier. But the problem is like those spreads don't come out unless it's like, like Tuesday night in the NHL is the night where they basically start a hockey game every 15 minutes. Every team plays kind of one of those big nights, right? If they had a night where it was like the NBA, they open up with 2 games. And it doesn't even need to be when you open up. Sometimes when you have 2 games on a night, they'll start sprinkling in the next night's games and the spreads that come out with them. But by the time I record this, sometimes those aren't out. Wondering how accurate they are depending on where you get your lines. But yeah, let's go to the next game. Florida International at Missouri State. Missouri State's favored by 3.5. Total's 50.5. I kind of like what I saw from Missouri State last week. I know Florida International is not good. They've actually played some big opponents this year and got beat up pretty good. But I do think the over looks interesting. And of the 2 plays, the one I would be more likely to be on would be the over in this game. I just think we see points. I think 50.5 is the right number. And saying you see a 50 total in college isn't It's not a lot, right? It's not like a big number for college football. You will see some, like I was on the Wisconsin under this weekend when they played Oregon, and that was a snore fest. You'll see some totals in the 40s on occasion. And if Iowa's playing, you might see them in the 30s. Hell, I've seen an Iowa game that was 28.5. That sucks on that offense, man. But I think the over is the right play. What I'm going to do here is, like I said, I'm going to give out my Sunday shootout. I haven't posted it yet, but I know I'm going to be on this. I already started looking at the game. There's a lot to love, even with the injury to Cam Skattebo. 49ers at the Giants. 49ers are 2.5-point favorites. 48.5 is the total. This 49ers team just went to Houston and let Houston move up and down the field on them. The Giants, even though they just lost Cam, they lost Malik Neighbors, and I think they had some tight ends get banged up in that game. It does not matter. They are going to score points. The Giants will score on this tired-ass 49ers defense that's not good to begin with because of some of the injuries. They lost their heart and soul in the middle of that defense. Your pass rushers, the key ingredients up there. And look, man, I didn't think I was going to like Jackson Dart. The more I watch him, I like him. I don't know if he's going to be a really good quarterback in this league, but he's an easy guy to root for, especially when you saw how he reacted to Cam's injury. This is a Christian McCaffrey smash spot. And if you haven't watched, he's been smashing all year. Down game here with the 49ers in their last game against Houston. But if Houston was moving the ball up and down the field on them, and now they got to go on the road and face the Giants all the way across the country, and they're a small favorite. I think the Giants are a live dog, and I know that's a vomit play to click that. I think the over is a lock here. And I don't even like throwing that word around. I just think these teams are going to move up and down the field. And people they get sticker shock, and it's like, oh, it's 48.5? The 49ers? Did you see? Like, the Texans' offense is horrendous, and they were missing Nico Collins, and they still kept moving. If they weren't, they kept stubbing their foot when they would get in field goal range, or at least in the red zone. And up here, you're kicking a field goal, and then they finally got some touchdowns. But they wore their ass out, belt to ass in that game, and now they got to go on the road and face this Giants team. This will be, I don't mind saying this will be my favorite daily fantasy stack for Sunday. So I am going to have some pieces of this game, more than likely Christian McCaffrey on one side, and then I'll pair Jackson Dart with maybe one of his tight ends and another receiver, or just pair him with his number one target at that point, or at least who I believe ownership-wise and everything makes the most sense. But I just think this is the game that everyone should be targeting this weekend. We'll see who's on it. Everybody's going to be on Christian McCaffrey. But I do think it's a great spot for an over, and that's my freemium. And don't forget, if you are purchasing picks, that's my Sunday shootout. I'm giving out for free. Appreciate you guys watching this. I hate the fact that I'm breaking down a slate where there's not many games and I don't really like anything. And the only thing I think I like is the Blue Jays-Dodgers game, but I don't know what the total and the line is, and we haven't confirmed the starting pitcher. So that's why I'm sitting on this the way I am. Once I see like what's confirmed for tomorrow, I'll try to post what I like in that game. I am going to have a premium play on it, so I can't give out too much. But baseball has been really good to me in the postseason. I'm hitting over 70% in the MLB postseason. And I got news for you guys. Like with my prop plays, like I said, I've thrown in free props 2, 3, 1, 4, 5 was the most I did last night. And I want to say I've had 2 losing days doing it. I may have had a push in there, like a 2-2 or a 1-1 or whatever. But this weekend, I went 8-1 in prop bets last night. Saturday I went 5-1 in college football. Sunday, because of the Ravens shenanigans and all that nonsense, I don't know what you want to call it. I did tell anybody that was willing to listen that I still like the Ravens over 21.5, but I had them over 28.5 when Lamar was going to be in. Hit that. Still like the Ravens. The Derrick Henry prop I didn't hit. Hit 4 anytime touchdowns. So I just think like things have been really good with props. And in the baseball postseason, undefeated on Friday night. I went 1-3 on Saturday with my props, and then what else? And then I just killed it this last game, and the whole series with the Mariners and the Blue Jays, I killed that series with prop bets. I felt like I called every starting pitcher and what they were going to do on a lot of unders. So again, the baseball playoffs have been very kind to me, and hoping to continue this. I'm going to be sad when it goes away. If you guys want to check out any of the premium plays, I'll have some stuff posted later on today, maybe in the morning. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I might have my best bet for Thursday posted. I love this play. And I don't want people to sit here and say, oh, you're in Baltimore, you like the Ravens. I'm not on the Ravens. I'm not on the Dolphins. I'm on the total. And I feel like we have such a huge edge in this game. I'm going to hammer this play, and it's going to be my best bet for the week. So I'm going to write it up. It'll probably be up on the site later today or in the morning. But I also, because it's an NFL game and it's an island game, I like to throw in prop plays. So I have one prop for that game. I don't mind telling you guys now. I like Devin Achane under his 63.5 rush yards. I think the Ravens are going to do a pretty damn good job stopping the run and make the Dolphins one-dimensional. And we'll find out if that's a good or bad thing for the Ravens, because I still have questions about their secondary. But defense played out of its mind this past Sunday. So, and then they're going with momentum. Lamar's back. He's from Hollywood, Florida, or from that area, so he's going to have a lot of family there. Should be a fun game on Thursday night. But once I kind of solidify the prop bets I have, I'll throw them in, and you'll see it posted. Thursday night, my concrete best bet plus whatever, 3-4 props for free. But check it out, guys. I appreciate you guys watching this. Always like the feedback, good or bad. Don't be upset if I chirp back at you if you give me some bad juju here and say some negative things, because I don't mind chirping. It's all in good fun. That being said, I'll be back on the morning show on Friday. If you guys get a chance to check it out. And if you haven't yet, check out Top Dogs with myself and Mark Zinno. It's basically a half an hour show for each NFL and college. We go over 5 of the biggest games, and then we give out a free play that usually we agree on. Sometimes we just fight over things. And it's basically an hour of me speed bagging Mark Zinno's balls and busting his chops, and we're throwing in movie quotes if you guys can catch movie and TV quotes. If you guys pick it up and you know what it is, it'll be a little bit more fun. So, but appreciate you guys checking this out. I'll be back in the morning. I'll post how I feel about this Blue Jays-Dodgers game in the morning and try to solidify it. And I'll have some prop plays. Maybe I'll post a couple of those if you guys want to get in. But I will have prop plays posted with tomorrow's baseball game when the pick's up for sale. Appreciate you guys watching this. Hope you win some cash. I think I've rambled long enough. Good luck. I'll see you tomorrow.